First, with breaking news.
Hello and thank you for joining us on Newsweek, where we highlight some of the biggest stories that made the headlines recently. I am Jacinta Agochukwu. This week, bandits abduct about 280 pupils, teachers in Kaduna. Also this week, NLC demands 794,000 naira as minimum wage. TUC wants 497,000 naira. Later on the show, Binance pulls out of Nigeria, suspends Naira services. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Well, we begin with matters of security, as over 280 pupils and teachers of government secondary school and LEA primary school at Kuriga, Kaduna State were abducted by bandits on Thursday. The Jamaatul Nasir Islam Amnesty International, the Parent Teacher Association of Nigeria, the Nigeria Union of Teachers, and the House of Representatives have condemned the attack and asked the government to rescue the victims immediately. The bandits reportedly invaded the Kuriga area of the Chukun local government area of Kaduna State, shooting at their victims before taking away the pupils and teachers. This incident occurred barely 24 hours after insurgents abducted 200 internally displaced women in Ngalabono State. The women kidnapped had been fetching firewood in the bush. When will this attack and abduction end? These are the questions every Nigerian is asking now. And joining me to attempt to answer these questions is Dennis Amachree, retired Assistant Director, Department of State Services. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good evening.
All right. How do you react to the rescue efforts being made by the authorities, state government? Is it enough to rescue these children and tackle these deep-seated ills?
We have been discussing this particular issue of kidnapping over the years. And I think we have always used the same methods, without introducing or, accepting new innovations that are coming into play. I know that the Safe School initiative has been there right after the Chibok girls. And now nothing was really done about it. And then, of course, we keep on moving on and on and on. And now it is spreading, because from the northeast now, we are moving into the northwest and right into the, north central. So I am not really impressed. I think more need to be done. I think we have to put more pressure on the kidnappers to make any headway.
All right, Mr. Amachree, what also would you make of the concerns over the lack of security measures in the schools?
The schools, did you see that, is it Kutiga secondary school where in Kaduna State, where they went to attack and carry out a lot of students away?
Yes.
If you look at it, you find out that, number one, there are no fences, no perimeter fence. And these are what the Safe School Initiative has recommended. No perimeter fence, no gates. So people can come in from different angles into the compound, and no alarm systems, because they attacked them around 1 a.m. and then, of course, they were there till early in the morning, and they left with all those students. And one thing that really baffles me, which I think the security agents should start to think about, is how can you take 280 students out in that Sahel area without, in fact, without anybody knowing. And then, of course, how do you carry them? How do you guard them? How easy is it to manage them to wherever destination you are taking them to? So I think these are issues that we have to look at.
All right, let's also talk about the idea of bringing these perpetrators to book. Now, the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has called for the implementation of capital punishment for those involved in kidnapping in the country. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree with the First Lady. I remember in 2006 when we were fighting kidnappings in the Niger Delta. You know, what happens then was that they will kidnap all these expatriates, they will use them for publicity and then let them go. You know, and we believe that then, you know, hostages will not be killed. Right now, hostages are being killed. In fact, you have situations where the hostage has died and then, you know, they still went ahead and negotiated and collected the ransom, you know, for a dead body, you know. And so these people are behaving with impunity. And I think the Nigerian state have to show them that it is not an easy deal for them to come in there, do whatever they want to do and go away. There is a government in Nigeria, and I think they should, you know, stamp their feet down. If they have to kill anybody, fine. Before we were advocating against killing kidnappers, because if you kill them, they might kill the hostages. But now they are already killing. So why should they be spared? So I agree with the First Lady. I think they should get their laws on, especially the states, because this one is not even a federal thing. You know, and that's one problem I'm facing here, whereby the states are behaving as if it doesn't concern them. It's a federal thing. It's a state issue, and they should be able to handle.
Exactly, Mr. Dennis. Speaking of states being the state issue, do you think the states, as well as the local government, have the capacity to even handle this issue? Isn't that why people are advocating for state policing?
Oh, yeah. You know, we've been advocating for state policing for more than 8 years. You know, and we believe that that is the way to go. Crime is committed in a locality. And then to fight that crime, you have to have the law enforcement around that area. So that is what is a simple thing, is done everywhere. In the United States, UK, Nigeria should also adopt, you know, things like that. And it's not just to create state police, because I am not very satisfied, you know, about the way it is going. People are saying, okay, let's create state police. The people refuse, some legislators refused. APC was pushing for it. PDP was refusing to establish that law. Now APC is in government, and PDP is pushing for it. Governors are pushing for it. And fortunately, this president has said, go ahead, let's go do it. So, but there's an important aspect. To establish state police, we expect that it will be created properly. The laws that are going to establish it are going to be one that spells out their responsibility. And that will be different from the federal police and then from the local government police. So the state police should have their own laws. And then, of course, they have to be well trained. They should be well trained, because if we are going to attack these bandits or terrorists, actually they are terrorists, and we are going to deal with them, they are carrying AK-47 rocket-propelled grenade launchers and stuff like that. We have to give them special weapons and tactics, trained in superior tactics in dealing with stuff like this. So, state police can be created, but we should not forget the training that comes with it.
All right, Mr. Dennis Amachree, thank you very much for your contributions so far. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a short break. Our Newsweek continues in a moment. Stay with us.